Welcome back to the Art of Snobbery, where we help you navigate the world of refined conversation without needing a PhD in anything. Today's topic, modern art. That magical realm where lines, colors, and occasionally random household objects are transformed into statements about the human condition. If you've ever stood in front of a canvas and thought, my toddler could have done that, don't worry. You're exactly where modern art wants you. Modern art isn't just new art, it's art that said enough to the old rules. It started in the late 19th century when artists like Monet, Cézanne, and Van Gogh got tired of painting reality as it looked and began painting it as it felt. From there, things got progressively wilder. Picasso and Braque invented Cubism, chopping up the visible world and reassembling it like a puzzle with no solution. Kandinsky said, "Why paint things at all?" and gave us the first pure abstractions, symphonies of color and line that didn't depict but expressed. Mondrian took it further, pure geometry, straight lines and primary colors. If your living room has a print with red, blue and yellow boxes, congratulations, you own a piece of his rebellion. And then came Surrealism, with Dali's melting clocks and Magritte's This Is Not a Pipe, because apparently nothing was what it seemed. Underneath all the color and chaos, modern art had a serious philosophical mission, to explore how we see and what truth even means. The old masters thought art was about copying the world. Modern artists thought, why copy when we can question? They were influenced by new ideas, Freud's psychology, Einstein's relativity, and Nietzsche's philosophy. The world suddenly seemed uncertain, fragmented, abstract, and art followed suit. So when you look at a Pollock drip painting, don't just see splatters. See an artist trying to capture pure energy, motion, emotion, the chaos beneath control. Modern art isn't about the object, it's about the idea behind it. People often whisper, yeah, but isn't it just chaos? And yet, that's exactly why it's fascinating. Modern art doesn't want to be pretty, it wants to be provocative. It refuses to please the eye, instead it challenges the mind. It asks, why do you expect beauty to behave? It teaches us to look, really look, without needing to recognize. A Rothko isn't interesting because there's nothing on it, but because after staring for a while, something in you starts to move. Modern art makes thinking visible. You can almost trace the artist's mind. Picasso breaking form apart, Kandinsky translating sound into color, Pollock turning movement into memory. It's not chaos, it's consciousness caught in paint. And perhaps, most interesting of all, it's free. Free from rules, free from beauty, free from purpose. It mirrors our own fragmented, noisy, modern world and turns that confusion into clarity. As Captain Help would say, modern art is what remains when beauty decides it no longer owes anyone an explanation. Want to sound like you belong at an art opening? Well, here are a few conversational gems to keep in your back pocket. Picasso, the man who reinvented art every decade, and apparently his girlfriends too. Kandinsky, the guy who heard colors and painted music. Mondrian, the minimalist, great for pretending you love balance and order. Frida Kahlo, Mexican surrealist, feminist icon and queen of personal symbolism. Mark Rothko, the silent monk of color. His paintings look simple, but honestly, stare long enough and you'll start feeling feelings. Jackson Pollock, the chaos king. Just don't say it looks like spaghetti. Marcel Duchamp, the prankster genius who exhibited a urinal and called it art. He's basically the godfather of conceptual art, and every artist who ever said it's about the statement, not the technique. The trick is to sound intrigued, not certain. Use words like dialogue, gesture, tension, and the relationship between form and emptiness. If someone asks, what do you think it means? Answer confidently, I think it's about presence and absence, about what's not being shown. Then just take a sip of wine and look away thoughtfully. You've just won the gallery, honestly. There are a few deadly sentences in the art world. Avoid them like unframed canvases. My kid could do that. The artist's child probably couldn't. And if they could, they'd be in the Tate by now. But it's just a line. To you, yes. To the artist, it's the essence of being. I don't get it. You're not supposed to. You're supposed to feel confused, enlightened, or both. It doesn't look like anything. Exactly. That's the point. Ah, yes, the question whispered in every gallery. But why does it cost millions? Well, let's decode the economics of confusion. First, scarcity. There's only one real Rothko, one Pollock, one Mondrian. Once it's in a billionaire's vault, it's gone forever. Scarcity creates desire, and desire creates prestige. Second, status. Owning a masterpiece isn't about beauty, it's about belonging to a club where your wealth is measured not in square meters but square canvases. Third, illusion. The art market thrives on secrecy. Galleries, curators and collectors quietly decide what matters and what's worth millions. If enough powerful people say it's valuable, it is. Fourth, storytelling. You're not buying paint, you're buying a myth, a tragic biography, a scandal, a genius misunderstood. Every brushstroke carries a narrative, and narratives sell better than colors. Fifth, finance. Art is also a discrete bank account on a wall. Portable, tax-efficient, and occasionally very helpful when you'd rather the tax office didn't notice your assets. And finally, meaning. The fewer people who understand it, the more valuable it becomes. In art, obscurity is exclusivity. So yes, it's expensive, because in the end, modern art is not about what it is. It's about what we believe it is. And belief, as any collector will tell you, comes with a price tag. Modern art broke open the idea that art needs to represent something tangible. It made room for art that's personal, conceptual, political, or even ridiculous. Without modernism, there'd be no pop art, no street art, no NFTs, for better or worse. It gave us permission to create meaning where none was obvious. In other words, modern art taught us that sometimes the most interesting thing in the room is the conversation itself. So next time you're in a gallery staring at a blank canvas, don't panic, tilt your head, narrow your eyes, and say softly, "It's an exploration of absence, a meditation on perception." Congratulations, you've ascended to level 2 snobbery. This episode is part of the Art of Snobbery, the ongoing series where Captain Help explores how taste, class, and irony keep us ever so slightly superior and delightfully human. From fashion and watches to philosophy and art, every episode is a gentle reminder that snobbery, when properly brewed, is simply curiosity with better lighting. I'm Captain Help, and this has been the Art of Snobbery, because understanding isn't everything, but pretending beautifully, that's an art form. Each episode of Captain Help explores how we think, live, and pretend to transcend calm reflections with a hint of irony and a lot of sense. Captain Help, smarter every day in every way.